Hello everyone. Welcome to our lesson on the Introduction to Psychological Perspectives of Education. By the end of this lesson, we will explore the connection between psychology and education. And also we are going to focus how different psychological theories influence the way we learn and teach. Okay? So, without a further ado, we are going to see the impact of psychological perspectives on teaching and learning by going through the insights into theoretical perspectives. Okay, we come up to the psychological perspectives in teaching practices. So, in this slide, let's dwell into the core theories that shape teaching practices. Okay, so first, behaviorism theory. Behaviorism theory explains the learning through rewards and punishment. On the other hand, the second one here, cognitivism theory. Cognitivism theory explores the knowledge through mental process such as problem solving, memory, and thinking. And the third one here mentioned out, humanism theory. Humanism values individual growth, self-worth, emphasizing emotional development and social development of students. And the last one, psychoanalysis theory. Psychoanalysis focuses on the influence of unconscious mind on behavior. Okay? It emphasizes the role of early childhood experiences and the unconscious motivations and conflicts in shaping a person's thoughts, emotions, and behavior. Okay, now, seven major schools of psychology and their key characteristics. Why? Seven major schools: structuralism, functionalism, behaviorism, gestalt psychology, cognitive psychology, psychoanalysis, humanism. Again? No. We covered it in the last sessions. So, why I put it again here? I'm not going to in detail to talk about those, but you might be wondering why we are revisiting the seven major schools of psychology after discussing the theoretical perspectives. Am I right? So the reason is simple. As a recap, we revisit the seven major schools of psychology and explore their characteristics and the learning theories associated with them. It is important to note that while some schools have explicit learning theories, others may not. So, this recap sets the stage for a detailed discussions on behaviorism as a learning theory later in this presentation and other schools of psychology. I am not going to in detail. Okay, take this as a revision before going to behaviorism theory. Alright. So in this slide we are going to talk about structuralism in psychology and what is their key characteristics. So let's going to focus on structuralism. You know who are the pioneers involved in this theory. Those are the Wooden and Tichenor. And the school of psychology, this school of structuralism psychology, emphasizes the introspectionism. Introspectionism studies the mind through its individual elements. Alright? So the core focus was on the elements of consciousness rather than its functions. Structuralism laid the foundation systematic system of the human mind, and it is the first school of psychology. Remembering? Okay. Okay, key characteristics of functionalism. Mental process serve as a purpose. First key idea, which came out from this, and the second key idea. Organisms are adaptive to their environment. Consciousness is viewed holistically and not reducible to elements. That key idea. What is the fourth and the most important point? Functionalism is a theory that focuses on the functions of mental process. Alright, that is why it's called functionalism, that focusing on the functions of mental process. Now we are going to explore the essential characteristics of behaviorism. These foundational principles are crucial for understanding how observable behaviors happen, and those are facilitated by the techniques, strategies such as rewards and punishments and stimulus response associations, like that. Okay, so as a prominent learning theory, behaviorism having these principles in shaping behavior modification and skill development practices by recognizing the impact of external influences and the role of reinforcement. What kind of reinforcement? Reinforcement can be positive and the negative as well. So, behaviorism lays the foundation for understanding how behaviors are acquired and modified, thereby shaping educational practices based on observable actions and their consequences. So, what I'm going to here mention out is, do you remember behaviorism we talked about earlier as a school of psychology as well. So, about those rewards and punishment technique and stimulate response associated learning, uh, we are going to learn about those things as a learning theory. Behaviorism as a learning theory. Let's go to that one also now. Okay, now we came up to behaviorism as a learning theory. So we talk about behaviorism psychology as a school of psychology, what its characteristics in the before previous slides. Okay, so now here behaviorism focuses on observable behaviors and external stimuli. And learning occurs through reinforcement and punishment. Emphasize repetition and practice to form a habit. Associated with theories such as B.F. Skinner, even Pavlov. Applications include behavior modification and skill development. Criticized for overlooking internal mental processes in learning. Those we like a summary, right? So what exactly it was saying? Behaviorism as a learning theory highlights the importance of observable behavior. Alright, so what exactly here I mentioned as the reinforcement and punishment? What are the what act like external stimuli? Maybe you have some questions. Okay, I will give you one answer for that one. Okay, for instance, take a classroom. When a teacher praises a student for completing a task, the praise acts as a positive reinforcement, encouraging the students to repeat the certain behavior. What it means? If somebody completed a task, uh, very good, we are saying as a praise, oh wow, very good, or good, or like that. So what happening to students by hearing such a phrase? Yeah, yeah, of course. There will be a repetition of the same act in the future as well. So we are encouraging the students to repeat that certain behavior. So on the other hand, when a student receives dissension for a disruptive behavior, it serves as a form of negative reinforcement that discourages the behavior in the future. Now you understood how the use of rewards and consequences shapes the behavior in education settings. I think you understood very well now. So pioneers in the behaviorism learning theory is B.F. Skinner and Ivan Fowler. B.F. Skinner, in this case, demonstrated how behaviors can be shaped through the use of rewards and punishment. We gave you an example, right? So I'm going to give you another example as well. In a classroom, teacher can use a reward system such as stickers or small tokens to encourage students to complete their homework. That means teacher is creating a positive reinforcement for desired behavior. Alright? So on the other hand, who is the next pioneer who involved in the behaviorism learning theory? Ivan Pavlov. That's right. Ivan Pavlov founded the classical conditioning. Classical conditioning also can be seen in the classroom when a teacher uses a bell to signal the beginning of a lesson, creating an association that directs students' attention to the upcoming learning time. Understood? Maybe you are not familiarized about those BF Skinner and Ivan Powler. Don't worry. We are going to talk about the next slide, operant conditioning and the classical conditioning in detail. So let's go. Okay, now it's our time to talk about operant conditioning in behaviorism. So who founded the operant conditioning in behaviorism? B.F. Skinner. Remembering giving rewards and punishment to make a likelihood of appearing behavior or to removal of the certain behavior, unpleasant one. Okay, that is what is it in a simple way. So, operant conditioning focuses on learning through consequences. It involves reinforcement and punishments to modify behavior. Key principles include reinforcement, negative reinforcement. That means positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, positive punishment, and negative punishment. What it means? Positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement. We talk about a positive reinforcement. Anyone can remember? Positive reinforcement means giving a reward to make behavior more likely to happen again. Giving a praise to a student. Remember? For example, another example as I am saying to a dog, by a command sit. So it will sit. So when it sits when asked, can help reinforce the sitting behavior. Understood? So, what is exactly negative reinforcement? Negative reinforcement is taking away something unpleasant to make behavior more likely. What it means? We are taking out of an unpleasant one to make a behavior more likely. Okay, I will give you example. If a child finishes their homework early, so they might be excused from doing chores of the day. This removal chores encourages them to finish homework soon again. I think now you understood, right? So that is called negative reinforcement. So the next one, positive punishment. Positive punishment is adding something unpleasant to reduce the behavior. What it can be? An example I can think of is okay, I am teaching in a classroom setting. So I am seeing like okay, I am seeing a talkative student in my class. Okay, and he or she is talking during the class. So I am giving extra homework today. So what is that one? The extra homework is meant to discourage talking in class. So those are act as positive punishment. Alright. So negative punishment, what is that? Negative punishment involves taking away something enjoyable to reduce the behavior. So, taking away something enjoyable to reduce behavior. What it means? So, if a student is talking disruptively during a class game and the teacher takes away their game time. It's a negative punishment. He's more likely to play now. So I am taking the game time. The removal of the game time aims to prevent disruptive talking in the future. Understood? Those are act as a negative punishments. So now you may know the key principles of positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, positive punishment, and negative punishments involved in the operant conditioning, founded by B.F. Skinner. So B.F. Skinner founded it through an experiment with animals. Alright, and the behavior modification techniques. Those are the practical implications which founded by the operant conditioning. Classical conditioning in behaviorism. Classical conditioning, pioneered by Ivan Pavlov, explores the formation of association between stimuli. Pavlov's famous experiment with dogs illustrated how a neutral stimulus, bell, became associated with a reflective response, salivation, through a repeated pairing with an unconditioned stimulus, food. What it means? So, as in a simple meaning, I will give you classical conditioning founded by who? Pavlov. Okay, even Pavlov is a scientist, did an experiment with dog. Alright, so he showed that when he rang a bell every time before giving the dogs food, okay, they started to salivate when they heard the bell sound, even if there is no food. So, this showed that something new, like the bell sound, could make the dogs react in a way they normally only would do with food. Understood? That is what classical conditioning in behaviorism. Okay, so classical conditioning plays a vital role in comprehending involuntary responses and the formation of learned associations. I hope you understood.